Hi, my name is Martin, and today I would like to talk about this trend of silhouettes, these statue-like uh, shapes in front of these bright backgrounds. It's very overused today on Instagram. It's very popular, of course, because it's very aesthetically pleasing. But I would like to talk about how to get them, how to create these aesthetically pleasing pictures, but at the same time maybe to inspire you and me too, how to put them together with some story, or how to actually put the meaning behind this. Because of course, yes, it's nice, it's all pretty, and it might hang somewhere, but at the same time, street photography or documentary photography is not just about aesthetically pleasing. Actually, it's opposite, so to speak. It's about the story, it's about the narrative, it's about what we are going to say throughout these images. If you are going through the Instagram and then we just see same image over and over and over again, always some silhouette, somebody passing by in the front of some very colorful wall. Well, that's not all there is, First thing first, what do we need for this? We will need camera, obviously, but we don't need any fancy DSLR camera. It might be as well, this small Canon. All we need is just to have a possibility to change light metering. For this technique we would need actually some kind of automatic exposure, which means shutter priority, aperture priority. I would advise you to use aperture priority because in next video we will actually talk about this, but you can have more things in focus which actually can work in your favor. So first of all, the camera, where you can change light reading or light metering. In every camera which has this opportunity, you can actually change it. The names differ. For example, on this Fuji X100V, it's multi center weighted and spot metering and average. All this has different kind of readings. They read from different points of an image, and that's how they auto expose. For this technique we will need spot metering. So how does it work? We have our spot metering. We point the camera to our bright background or any kind of light source, and then we will just wait for someone to pass, or we will have our subject just in the front of it. So as we pointed camera on our bright background, the exposure of the camera is going down to compensate, to actually see anything what is on this bright background. In manual settings, it's actually your decision. You can also dial in everything how you need. You might be faster, you might be slower, it's absolutely your decision. So for example, if I'm going on a bright day, I would set up my camera for f8, aperture 8, 250 to 2000 of a second, depends on the light, light source. If it's super sunny day, I would go even higher if necessary. And then my ISO will be as low as possible because we already have the light. So here we have exact example, bright background, my hand. So the camera is exposing right for the details on the highlights, and the shadows create silhouette. So normally when you are on the street, you see the building with the bright background right here. You probably would go on the opposite side where there is another building or another side of the street, and when the light is going like this from the sun, here is all shadow, okay? And then when you have your subject passing on the side of the shadow, so you are standing somewhere here and photographing, like this. You're photographing him against the wall. You would see something like this. You have your wall and your subject in a darkness. This is all lighty, and your subject is just shadowy silhouette. Okay, that's it. Because it wouldn't work if you have a person here, because depends on the position of the sun. He would be, you know, enlightened from this side, and you will have nothing. You know, you need to have person completely in the shadow in the front of your bright background. As I say, this light source doesn't need to be only sun. It can be also artificial light. And this is very popular when you do these night walks, you know, like you go to city and you have all these storefronts and all these light sources, and you just let your subject pass in the front of. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and I like it. It's just one thing which needs to be completely done, and it's not always possible. It's just add some sparkle to it. And actually this can be sparkle for your other photography. For example, this is one of my photos where I used it, and also it kind of can say some kind of a story. Here you have a square full of kids playing, you know, it's beginning of the summer, there is no school, there is a couple of kids playing football now, just resting, and then there is a fountain. And the fountain has a black backlight of the sun, and all the subjects passing through are basically silhouettes. So it kind of creates this three-dimensional space on this square with the interesting light, some kind of story, plus silhouettes, which actually we don't need to know who is there, we don't need to see their faces, we don't need to have any detail. We know what's going on because we have already this kind of background in this whole ambience of the place. What is particularly interesting about this technique is that it's very metaphorical. It's very sensual. That's the word I was looking for. It's very mysterious. It's very deep. It's like a symbol, and that's how we construct, how we communicate in our world. We have created some language of the symbols. You know, all kind of symbols: walk, stop, toilet, next, exit. All kind of symbols which actually create and help us navigate meaning in this world. And this photography is very, very like this. But I would really advise you to use this technique creatively and try to speak about something. There is plenty of inspired photographers who use this technique to create an ambience, because he's photographing ambience in his photograph, and he doesn't need to have all those faces in his photography. Example, I believe his name is Vohra. He's Indian Leica ambassador, I believe, and he is just doing he's using witchcraft. He's using the forms, he's doing the shapes. He doesn't need to show you everything. At the same time, he shows you through ambience. How does it feel? What's the magic of the place? What's the ambience? There's plenty of examples. Another example is Henri Cartier-Bresson, the godfather of street photography. His famous photograph of a man jumping the puddle. We don't see the details. We know what he is doing. We see it and we can relate. It's just amazing timing, just right above the water. Just wait a second. This is my fridge magnet. In this photograph, you see exactly what I'm talking about. There is a story. You know, there is a man, there is a war going on. He needs to go from point A to point B. He jumped, he take a leap of faith, as I'm doing right now. So yeah, you wouldn't call it really photography of a silhouette, this one, but it's exactly this. The man is in shadow. The water under him is actually behaving like a light source. It's reflecting the sun above. It can be overcast day, but still. I hope you enjoyed this video and that I have answered some of your questions. And if not, just let me know in comments down below. As well, in a comment down below, please let me know if you like this technique and if you don't think that it's kind of overused over the Instagram, because it's simplistic and aesthetically pleasing. So I hope you will have a wonderful time, you will have a nice day, and just go out and shoot. Peace!